Alright, today we are working on the tune Viva La Vida from the band Coldplay. I'm John Nash with Ukulele Inspired. If you're new to the channel, we're making videos to help get you further with ukulele, so be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with our content. Alright, let's start with the left hand today. First chord we need to know is a C chord, 0003. We also want to learn a variant of that C, a C major 7, 0002. Just drop the middle finger 1 fret lower. Next chord we need to know is a D, 2220. We just stack those fingers right on top of each other. And it also has a variation. It's a D sus. What we're going to do is just drop these two fingers straight to the middle string. So it's 022 and 0. Then we need a G chord, 0, 2, 3, and 2. And then an E minor. Last chord we need to know is a B minor. Ring finger 4th fret, we bar all the way across to ring finger 4th fret on the G string. 4, 2, 2, and 2. Whenever you're focusing on your left hand technique, try and keep that right hand as simple as possible. We're going to use whole notes to get ourselves familiar with what the chord progression sounds like. C major 7 to D sus, to G, and then to E minor. Now you're going to notice when I'm playing that C major 7 with my middle finger, I'm going to hop 2 fingers up to the middle strings and then just drop my middle finger down, and in that space I put my ring finger and then I can transfer to my E minor. Let's try whole notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rule the world, seas would rise when I gave the word. In the morning I sleep good alone. The streets I used to own. Let's finish on C major 7. For the chorus of the song, we're technically playing the same chord progression, but I like to use the major voicings for the C and the D chord just to give it a little variation from the verse. 1, 2, whole notes, and C major, 2, 3, 4, D major, 2, 3, 4, G, and E minor. 2, 3, 4. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing. Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Let's finish on C. So we're going to play that progression 3 times in the chorus, and on the last rotation I like to go back to the C major 7 we played in the verse, the D sus, and then we're going to replace our G chord with a B minor. 1, 2, 3, major 7, all in this world. D sus to B minor, that was when I ruled the world. Last progression we need to know for this tune is the bridge. We're going to be going back and forth between the first chord and the 4th chord, C and E minor. We're going to do that 3 times and then 2 measures of D to get us back into the chorus. 1, 2, ready, go. Major 7, E minor. And remember, we're going to do 3 whole rotations, so this is the last. And then we go to D for 2 measures. 2, 3, 4. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Next, let's get into our rhythm. For our right hand technique, we're going to start off with a 3-finger pull, thumb on the C string, pointer on the E, and middle finger on the A. And then just pull all 3 at the same time. You see my thumb, my pointer, and my middle are not interfering with each other, so make sure you adjust that thumb forward, pointer and middle back, so that each of the strings or each of the fingers has its own lane. So let's start off with this rhythm. It sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, and da da da. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da, and finish on 1. Tricky thing about this rhythm is that we're going to need to change chords in the middle of our pattern. So if I'm playing the pattern, it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and. The first time you hear those close together notes, that's where you're going to be switching chords. All right, let's give it a try. The whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Next, we're going to work on the strum pattern. Now, the strum pattern is going to match our rhythmic cadence of those pulls we were doing. We're just going to do it as down and ups. All right, remember, our rhythm sounds like this. Da, 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 da. If I was going to strum that, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 4. Now, the tricky part of this rhythm is those 3 ands on the off beats that are all in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Those 3 up strums in a row. So remember, you really want to make sure after each up strum, you're letting your hand come down on beat so that you can catch the up strum on the off beat. 1, 2, sounds like this. Da, 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 up, 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 down, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's add the chords. C, and same thing, we switch on the off beat. Last rhythm we're going to learn is for the chorus. This rhythm is a lot more symmetrical, and we're actually going to be changing on the downbeats, which is a little different than what we were doing in the verse. That rhythm sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, and 4, and. Just like before, make sure that after you play the up strum here, you let that hand naturally come down on beat 3 so you can catch the next up strum. Sounds like this. 2, ready, and 1, 2, and 4, and down, down, up, and we'll try the chorus chords. Hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you'd gone, there was never. Remember, on the last rotation, we go to major 7 on this word, and then we're going to play B minor instead of G to the E minor. For our second interlude, we actually need to try and play a melody, so we're going to be using a technique called a focused roll to try and highlight those melody notes inside of the chord progression. Put our thumb on the G string, we're going to roll to the E, and then use that A string as a break. That way the last note I hear is the 3rd fret on the E string here. Now if I add that to the chord and then play the rest of the rhythm after that first beat, roll, 2, 3, 4. Now right on the and of 4 is when the chord switches and the melody note switches. So if we play our D sus, our melody note is the 2nd fret on the E string. Now right after I've played that roll, I'm going to play the second half of the rhythm. Roll, and 3, 4. So the whole thing sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Roll, roll, again. Roll, and roll. Now remember, that melody just repeats, but the G and the E minor chord, I need to make sure that I'm playing the G note in the G chord, and then I need to make sure I'm playing that F sharp, the 2nd fret on the E string, when I play the E minor. So I need another chord shape. Instead of playing 0, 4, 3, 2, I'm actually just going to take my pointer finger, jump it up to the E string, and bar. That way, I'm playing 0, 4, 2, and 2, and I'm highlighting the melody note inside of an E minor chord. So it sounds like this. And then I jump to that new chord shape. One more time. And let's try the whole thing. Here we go. Here's my G chord and my alteration. One more time. All right, let's get into our second interlude. Our second interlude is fairly straightforward. The only thing we're changing is that instead of a 3-finger pull, we're going to be playing a 4-finger pull, and we're going to do some alterations to the chords in the progression. So the difference in our right hand technique is instead of my thumb being on the C string, it hops up to the G string, pointer and middle hop up one as well, and then I use my ring finger to play the A string. Now we're going to be doing that same rhythm, but our left hand shapes are going to look a little bit different. So for our C chord, we're going to be playing that major 7 plus the middle finger on the 3rd fret. Now from here, my pointer finger just jumps up to the 2nd fret on the C string. Now from here, you go and shift to a G, and then E minor. One more time. And G to E minor. Last time, and finish on 1. Last thing we need to talk about is the bridge of this tune. We're actually going to be using the exact same right hand technique and similar chord shapes. So the chord progression for the bridge looks like this: C major 7 to E minor. Remember, we repeat that 3 times, and then we go to the D chord for 2 measures. So we're going to be using that 4-finger pull, and we're going to play that same rhythm. Bop, bop, bop. Now we switch to E minor. One more time. Last time. And we go to D. Now for this D, we're actually going to be playing the second half of the strum pattern that we learned. So that second half of the strum pattern sounds like this. Miss on 1, and we play up, up, 3, 4, right? From that rhythm before. Up, up, down, down, and we repeat. Those are going to be our 2 measures of the D chord. So it actually sounds like this. On the D chord, we miss on beat 1, up, up, down, down, again. Now if we add that to what we were doing before, C, 2, ready, and 1, E minor. 3 rotations. Last time, and there you go. All the things you need to start getting this tune into your repertoire. If you got some value out of this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure you stop by ukuleleinspired.com to stay inspired.